and something that I think has shown up, that the amount of work the Wigan defence do, but actually if you're that good as Liam Watts is and you can run that good a line, then they're gonna struggle, because every defence struggles with that, and it was a really good line by him. And at that stage Wigan needed to regroup. Wigan did regroup, but Hull FC were still flying. They were still,
well, they were on the crest of that wave at that point, weren't they?
They were all full of confidence and all of that, and then came the most bizarre thing I've almost ever experienced. The craziest, the weirdest 5 minutes I've felt ever live at a rugby league game. Right. The try situation. So I'll just explain my understanding
you talk through
of what happened. Wigan's defence had done really well, even though Hull FC's attack had done really well. Both sides had done really well in this passage of play to get to the situation where this kick eventually is put through. Tierney, I don't think he could have got to it with his foot to kick it dead, so I think he's just tried to get on the ball and it's come out. I think it was off the back of an error by Dan Sargentson, which was not focused on enough, but I'm pretty sure Mahai Vanua ripped the ball out. But anyway, that aside, that there was plenty of 50-50 calls like that in the game that both sides could call, and I don't think Hicks refereed the ruck particularly strongly, but watching it back on the TV, he at least was consistent in his weakness, shall we say. But that aside, we used to that this year. So obviously then what happened is the ball comes loose, Michaels reaches over, I think touches it, loses contact with the ball, so at that point he has no control, no possession.
Right.
Then as the ball's hitting the floor, he's back in contact with the ball, and maybe because it was blurred as far as I'm concerned, the image with the ball, maybe a finger was on the ball when it touched the floor. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel if he's touched the ball already and then touched it a second time, he's already lost contact for me. So it's not a case of it just needs to be on the floor and you put it down, because you've already had the opportunity to get possession and lost possession. But I don't know if that's how the rule works or not. I just can never be convinced either way on that, whether it should have been a try. But then Gildart picks it up, runs up the other end, and obviously does score a try.
Poor old Ollie Gildart as well, collapsing over the try line and just blow it, then to have to come back.
Well,
I almost wanted it to be a Wigan try just for poor old Oliver Gildart.
Everyone's saying as well, like, he could have just taken a tackle. I'm pretty sure the referee would have just called time off if he had taken a tackle. In a semi-final, a big decision like that, especially after what had happened the night before, I think he would have called time off.
Yeah.
You've seen them call time off in situations before, even though you sort of always think they're not supposed to. You've seen it happen before.
Yeah,
you definitely have.
Yeah.
But anyway, what we didn't know in the crowd, and what was so agonising for us, is that we didn't know. And this is completely irrelevant as it turns out, because Ben Thaler forgot what every single fucking referee has done for the last year and a half. But what we didn't know is if Michael's try had gone up as...
Robert Hicks, not Ben Thaler.
No,
it was Ben Thaler video, right?
Yeah.
Right, of course.
What we didn't know if Robert Hicks had sent the try up as the Michael's one up as no try or as try. Obviously the Gildart one was sent up as a try.
Yeah.
But we didn't understand what had really happened, because we just did try, so we didn't know which end what was that.
So you all think it's gone as a try for Gildart.
We also think it must have gone as a try for... I thought he must have gone up as a try for Michaels, because why is he looking at it so many times? Because if it's gone up no try, by now
he'd have moved on to Gildart.
You're convinced enough to know that you're not certain, there's not definite evidence after this many looks. So then when I found out, when I got home and watched the game back, that he had gone up no try and he came back with try, I was completely blown away, to be honest. Not that I think it was definitely not a try or that it was definitely a try. I think it was whatever the live call was, is what it was. We've seen this all year long. I don't know why it changed all of a sudden.
No, because Ben Thaler's done that 2 or 3 times this year, though, with video refs or being the video referee. He does do that. This is what I like a lot of things about the way Ben Thaler referees on the pitch and the way he communicates with players and stuff like that, but there are times when he just has this departure from the way that things are being applied, and it doesn't help the reputation of referees generally, because it shows that there's a maverick nature to him, and it makes it harder to say get off the referee's back when he tries to move away from the precedent and move away from the agreed application of the rules. So, yeah, for me it wasn't a try. I agree with you. It wasn't. There's not enough there to say. There's certainly not enough to say no try and have it turned over. No way is there enough to turn it over. Even going up as a no try. Even going up as a try. I think it would get. This is the problem for me, and they alluded to it at the start of the coverage of the Warrington game about Ben Thaler and Robert Hicks essentially playing off to see who's going to be the grand final referee. For me, based on the performances of the two. And Ben Thaler gets 2 bites of the fucking cherry because he was video referee the following night.
I think that shouldn't be a factor because his video refereeing is completely separate to his match referee.
For me, the better you get, the better grand final, putting Robert Hicks on the pitch and actually putting Joe Cobb in the video referee, because at least Joe Cobb applies the rules.
Well, I actually think Ben Thaler. Think Ben Thaler with a couple
you want Ben Thaler to be the video referee?
Yeah.
You will change.
No, not the video referee. Not the video referee.
Right,
No, not the video referee.
Okay.
No, the referee.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Hicks runs a quicker game. I think that's what.
I disagree.
I think Hicks gets to play the ball sorted out a lot.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Hicks for me is.
I've seen 3 or 4 games this season where he's laid the law down.
Yeah, he did. Hicks was fantastic until he got injured at Magic Weekend. Since he's come back, he's been second guessing every single decision he's made and what he's done is make up calls, and I've seen it consistently with him. Yeah. And I don't want to see that I don't want to see a shitty make up call in the grand final, because I'd rather see everything be wrong on the same issue than a shitty make-up call. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're talking about the game.
Yeah, we are rabbit holing.
And now we've gone on again about referees, haven't we? I've lost where we are with the game.
So we were at the try.
Right. So what this shows, though, this decision, whether it was right or wrong, what it was, just accept it for what it was, what it was, right?
Which is so much easier for you to say now, isn't it?
But what the point is, because there was 15 minutes where Wigan had something to do, had the chance to do something about it, and Wigan did do something about it.
Absolutely,
and that shows what this team have. I mean, Wigan started to play an offloading game that they hadn't really played in this game, but had done, say, in the Warrington game.
Well, that's your go-to move, isn't it? Now, really, if you're struggling in games, it's start chucking it around, and that's great to see because you've done it twice now. If you're behind in the grand final on Saturday, I fully expect to see you start lobbing it around like it's basketball, because it throws teams.
But I don't think we broke structure that much, just enough to ask questions of Hull that Hull weren't able to answer, and had the tenacity and the endeavour. And what Wigan are is fitter than any other side in the competition.
The way you play,
and that's demonstrated by by players being in the right position at the right time at the end of games.
And it's about timing when you have that game plan, and that's what I like about you lot. If you could feasibly say, well, why don't we go out and play that way for 80 minutes and chuck the ball around? Well, the answer to that question is because you end up being Castleford Tigers, and you lose almost as many games as you win by playing that style of rugby all the time. You've got this separation now between a disciplined, aggressive game based on fitness and structure, and then you've got that plan B, and that's the thing that you've been missing for vast swathes of the season for me, is a plan B. And now you've started going to it and having it, all of a sudden games where you've fallen behind, or where you might have lost it earlier in the season,
of Nuasala,
you've got that.
The addition of Nuasala, the return to fitness of Gelling, and the return to playing in the side of Bateman and Williams at the same time, because we didn't have that. Those factors mean that there is more opportunities. Wigan's attack is still poor, but if, like you say, there is at least an opportunity for something else to come off, more than just shit, let's hope Gelling does something crazy here then.
FPN had his best game in a Wigan shirt for me.
He had his third best, but
I think so. Well, I don't watch him as much as you.
I think he's been better.
Best I've seen.
I think his best game was the Warrington game.
It felt like he was running with more impact for me, though.
No, I think the Warrington...
It felt like he was getting more yards after contact and having that impact into the line this time round for me.
I certainly think Wigan's pack outplayed Hull FC's pack, which was surprising, over the 80 minutes, which was surprising given how good Watson Taylor have been all year, how strong Pritchard's been. Ellis obviously being a miss was a factor. What Wigan had is probably more time to plan for all the absentees. It doesn't matter who isn't playing for Wigan anymore. For other teams it feels like it matters who is and isn't in the side. For Wigan it feels like that doesn't matter anymore. We still know our attack's pretty crap, we still know our defence is absolutely incredible, and we still know the players are the fittest players. in the competition. But anyway, we've got so sidetracked with referee stuff. I wanted to talk about one thing in this game, the 77th minute.
Right.
So in the 77th minute, Hull FC had a scrum. Well, in the 76th minute, Hull FC had a scrum.
Right.
In Wigan's end. They put in a desperate kick over the top that Josh Charnley took, sort of one-handed-ish.
Yeah, okay.
And took a great take, so that Wigan then had an exit set. The first carry, I think, was by Anthony Gelling. He managed to get an offload away. That got Wigan 20 metres away from the goal line on the first it was second tackle, but it was the first tackle after Josh Charnley's take. Wigan then managed to get, and I think FPN did have one of his best runs in this spell. Wigan then managed to get up the field to having a kick about 35 metres or so out from the Hull line. Matty Smith chose to kick for the goal area rather than kick the ball dead, which we've slaughtered people for many a times. But what Matty Smith actually did,
he went full Sinfield, didn't he?
Was he did it when he had players coming with him, because Wigan were on the front foot and Hull FC's pack that had been knackered throughout the game were still knackered at that point. It was the 77th minute.
Yeah.
And Wigan had just scored not long before and were in control of things even when mistakes were being made. And Mike Smith put a kick in. He made the initial contact on Jamie Shull, and it was followed over the top by, I think, Bateman and Charnley, who put Shull dead for a goal line dropout that ultimately led to the Anthony Gelling try in the 78th minute.
Okay.
The 77th minute of this game was one of the best sets of rugby league by a team leading a game that important at that stage that you will see.
There you go. Okay. I can't disagree with you.
I'm not asking you to. I'm just telling you that's my opinion.
No, it was fantastic. You're right. Absolutely.
Shall we get other people's opinions now? Because we're talking too much.
Have we talked about stats?
Oh, right, yeah. Very close in the number of carries and tackles made. Hull lost the penalty count 5-4, but won the error count 8-13, which is a factor in why they were able to stay close and come back into things. Wigan's win, though, was underlined by 3 more clean breaks, 5-2, 274 and 273 more metres at 1.4 metres per carry better average game. Wigan were taking on the advantage line much better than Hull were. Hull's forwards were exhausted regularly in this game, and Wigan's never seemed to be.
Okay, and individually, who stood out for us then?
Lewis Tierney, 2 tries, 8 tackles, 2 clean breaks. John Bateman, a try, 143 metres. Anthony Gelling, a try, 101 metres. Dan Sargentson, 2 try assists, 163 metres. For Hull FC, it was Steve Michaels with his 1 try, 134 metres. Danny Houghton, a try assist, 54 tackles, yeah mate. Danny Washbrook, a try assist, 51 tackles, 11 of which were marker tackles. That's and then Mark Minicello, who to be fair was a big threat when he was running the ball especially in that second spell. 120 metres for him.
There you go. Fan reviews then. Tyler Cast fan said, dramatic, thrilling, great for the neutral. So glad it wasn't decided by a pinky. Hull FC paid for a flat first half where they weren't in the game and could have been even more behind. Can't wait for the final. It's anybody's. Alan Walker says the first half was great. Second half was something else. Even the video reffing was fun, though it did piss off man of the match Gelling. Shame the commentary dissed the ref again. Hashtag next year no diss. Cheers, Al. Paul, I'm going to go with Campbell. Gutty BBC Radio is piss poor. Only listened to about 20 minutes of the game. Are Wigan chasing 3 defeats in a row?
It's not what we're looking for, but it might be the outcome.
Well, there you go. Paul O'Brien, 1976. Great first half by Wigan, but then a great comeback from Hull. Wigan were the better team on the night and deserved the win. The video ref decision was a joke, took far too long, and if Wigan player had been tackled, they would have gone back. Time for full ball control for tries and not fingertips. Angela Coates says, hashtag fan bloody tastic. What a thrilling game of rugby league. Not the best by a long way, but tense, nail-biting and typically dramatic. What more can you ask for in a Super League semi-final? Hull FC have been outstanding this season, but Wigan have shown true grit, determination and talent to achieve what they have so far this year. Let's hope the grand final is just as entertaining. John Robinson, a great team will always beat a team of greats. Ooh, philosophical stuff. Chris Macy, I'm not going to moan about that 5-minute video refereeing decision, as I imagine the internet is already full to the rafters with it. I don't think anyone will deny that Wigan deserved to win that one. Their first half game control and aggression were totally on point, and Hull just looked blown.